The mainland and Hong Kong are connected. We all do our best with what we have to achieve a bright future together.
RTHK News.
The 8 o'clock news with Barry O'Rourke. Police say they've arrested 3 people after a tense night that saw large numbers of officers deployed to prevent gatherings on the second anniversary of a major protest. 10 people were summoned for breaching social distancing rules. Ben Tay has the details.
Dozens of officers were seen patrolling shopping streets in Mong Kok, while part of Causeway Bay's pedestrian area was sealed off for a time early in the evening. Officers were seen carrying out identity checks on many people in both areas. A police roadblock was set up at the Cross Harbour Tunnel in Hong Kong to check vehicles heading to Hong Kong Island. There were reports from late afternoon of black-clad people blocking roads near the intersection of Fa Yuen Street and Dundas Street in Mong Kok with rubbish bins and barricades. At about 10, scores of police officers flooded into the Langham Place Mall in Mong Kok after people were heard chanting banned slogans there. One person was taken away. On June the 12th, 2 years ago, thousands of protesters surrounded LegCo and clashed with the police in a bid to stop lawmakers from discussing extradition legislation. On Friday, police arrested 2 people believed to be members of a localist group, Student Politicism, on suspicion of encouraging people to join unauthorized gatherings. Some pro-democracy groups did set up street booths and handed out leaflets, though Student Politicism called off its plan to do so.
The Hong Kong Alliance in support of patriotic democratic movements of China has said it's not going to stop calling for an end to Communist Party rule in the country. Beijing's top representative in Hong Kong, Luo Huining, said at a forum yesterday that people calling for the end of one-party rule are the SAR's real enemies. The alliance has previously been warned that its slogan could violate the national security law. Its secretary is Richard Tsoi.
The Hong Kong Alliance, we've been already more than 30 years in Hong Kong as a legal entity. We have long been upholding the principle of peaceful, rational way and acting in a lawful manner to come up with the actions of the Hong Kong Alliance. So we definitely, in view of the recent situation, would carefully to analyze any political situation incurred recently to see how to move forward.
World leaders attending the G7 summit in Britain have agreed to launch a massive spending plan for infrastructure investment in developing countries to counter China's growing global influence. President Biden said he wanted the plan to be a higher quality alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative. Meanwhile, the G7 and other leaders have had a barbecue on the beach and watched a flypast from the Red Arrows air display team. The BBC's James Landale is at the summit.
Ultimately, the test of this summit will not be the pretty pictures that we're seeing this evening, the barbecues, the Red Arrows and the royal family. The test will be, what have they actually decided to fix the pandemic now, to change the lives of hundreds of thousands of people who are suffering deeply at a time of huge inequality compared to wealthy countries such as the United Kingdom that have extraordinary vaccination rates compared to others.
A 6th round of talks to resurrect the 2015 Iran nuclear deal is underway in the Austrian capital Vienna, with the European Union calling discussions intense. Iran's chief negotiator said it was unlikely that a final agreement would be concluded before the Iranian presidential elections on Friday. You're listening to RTHK. The time is coming up to 8:05.